Tim Lounibos is in the house. You may have recognized him from many shows, actor extraordinaire. How are you?
I'm good. They might not recognize me because many shows occurred during what I call the first act of my career. And I had hair and hair. I was good looking.
Tell us all the best shows you've been on.
Oh God. Well, from before, things like I recurred on shows like West Wing and JAG. My very first guest star was Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's all, that little thing?
Yes, and 90210. I mean, a lot of stuff.
That's a big spectrum.
Yeah.
Star Trek to 90210.
Yeah.
Right?
Flexibility.
And it was a great time, but then I reached an age where it was like a tweener stage, and all of a sudden I felt I was a main breadwinner of a family of 4, and it was like not sustainable. So
what do you mean when you say the tweener stage?
That means that I'm not the young guy anymore, or the buck, and I am not considered old enough to be like the parent or
the dad
or the character with depth. Yeah. So and it's as an actor, it's just like you fall into the abyss, and I was about, I tried to make it work, and I was doing indie stuff and everything. But then finally, I was like, "This is not sustainable."
Yeah.
And I got to support my family, and I just got to man up. And
so then what?
I did. So I became an arts administrator. I was business administrator for East West Players, which is the longest running, and first Asian American theater company in the country, largest. And then from there, I went to Cal State University Northridge Valley Performing Arts Center, which is now the Soraya. And that's a $125 million facility. It's amazing. And there was an amazing experience because I worked with a bunch of college kids.
Interesting.
And
But interesting because, looking at your IMDb and it talking about, it was like the new breed of Asian Americans. How do you feel about that?
At the time it was actually exciting because, we'd always been dealing with stereotypes and not enough roles and et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden I was considered part of this vanguard of Asian American actors, and this is in the early to mid 90s. And so, it's funny now when I see what's going on with the Crazy Rich Asians and seeing all the actors and all this opportunity that's occurring, and it harkens me back to the beginning for me.
You were the person, the whole team that brought it in. They should be thanking you.
But back then it was different because the whole thing about inclusion, diversity, or whatever was more about a feeling of obligation or response to pressure on the network and studio side. Now it's about the color green.
Yeah.
They know that they make more money if they're being inclusive.
Nice not to be just a token.
Exactly.
It's
It's nice to see more than one on a show.
You've been beckoned back into the industry.
Netflix and all that else.
And you're working on some incredible projects. In fact, the next episode of NCIS, apparently one of the biggest secrets ever revealed is on your episode.
Yeah, it involves Ziva. And so I think it's going to have NCIS fans jaw dropped, and it's a real treat for them. It's an excellent script. I can't talk about it. I can say that I played Detective Paul Atwood on it, and but I have seen that they've been posting a malnourished child is found, and then it all unveils or whatever reveals from there.
How has your experience in the industry changed now that you took some time off, you had this real world experience working in administration, and now you're back on set?
I was gone for 7 years, and that is a lifetime. And so things drastically changed during the time that I was gone. And now, streaming video, that was not going on, the success of Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, et cetera.
But I'm curious, you personally, yes, the business has changed.
Yeah.
But you personally.
Me personally, I am a different person. I thought before I left that I was one of these grounded actors and I was solid and all this stuff. I found out, leaving and coming back, that was not the case. And I recommend to every artist to step away from what they do for at least a year. I did it 7 years, so I don't recommend that necessarily. But I come back with so much more life experience. I am grounded, I am healthier, I just have a better perspective on everything.
Such great advice.
And I don't stress,
right?
and I don't, whatever. I also have a great family, so that's
that helps.
Do you feel like that experience improved your emotional intelligence and your self-awareness, and so it informs your art in that way?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, when I came back, I noticed that right away.
Yeah.
I go in for things and I am I am just doing things and seeing things and feeling things on a totally different level.
Good.
No, it's just so interesting. I would imagine, as an actor, you got to draw on something. And if there's nothing to draw on because there's not enough life experience there, it's got to be really hard to just manufacture these emotions.
And even, I did have a lot to draw on actually from my childhood and all of that stuff. But it's just different,
Don't you feel like it's also
with kids was big for me.
Don't you feel like it's also like you don't have as much attachment to it? You're like, it's okay if it works out fine. If it doesn't, you don't have as much it's like your whole world's not gonna.
My thing has always been, I have so much fun with behind the scenes and the relationships on the set, and running into each other from project to project. But most definitely, if I get something, cool. If I don't, cool.
So what are you most excited about right now?
Well, what I'm most excited about is, we got the NCIS coming up. We have Hawaii. I just got back from Hawaii where I worked on Hawaii 5.0, and I think that's going to come out in March 1st. It's the 18th episode. That was great to work out there. I understand why actors who worked on Lost stayed to work on Hawaii 5.0 and stuff, and maybe Magnum too, because it's just a whole different way of existence out there, when you're working. And then my big thing is recurring on Bosch. This is a show, it's Amazon, and I cannot say enough about it.
It's a big show.
It's a big show. It's Amazon's first original content. Titus Welliver is the lead. Michael Connelly, it's based on his books. The 5th season is what I'm in, is based on Two Kinds of Truths book. And I'm part of a new department, which is called Conviction Integrity Unit. And my partner's played by Bianca Kalick, and she's great. I mean, we got along great the whole time. But, one thing I want to say, because I've worked on so many sets, is that this set is just head and shoulders above every other set I've worked on in terms of how everyone treats each other. And a lot of sets, they treat each other well and everything, but not a single person. Every single person treated each other with warmth, with respect. We had humor, we had levity, we had an easy set to work on.
Wow.
It was great.
So who would you say?
And there's so much integrity on that show.
Yeah. So who do you think is, because we always talk about like the CEO really, what their consciousness is going to transcend and trickle down into the environment and the consciousness of everyone there. Who would you say is that consciousness that's holding that space for everyone?
Well, Eric Overmyer and Daniel Pine were at the top there, but the producer that was on the set a lot, that worked directly, I worked directly with all the time, was Tom Barnardo, and he exuded a lot of, he was there for you all the time. He was supportive. He would answer questions. And then I got to give huge props to Titus Welliver, because, this is a guy, he's talented. There are a lot of talented people in Hollywood. It's just, that's a fact. But he's got so much warmth. He's intelligent. He's funny. It's important to him that everyone is feeling good and happy and everything. And, and he's the type of actor that will do his thing. Sometimes you run across, stars or whatever, and they do their thing and they're not even caring about you or looking at you. He'll do his thing and going, am I giving you? Do you want me to give you anything else?
Wow.
It's that type of thing. And he might not have any lines in something, but he will stay there till 1 a.m, being there for just as a visual for the other actors. So,
wow, that's impressive.
That is impressive.
That law of reciprocity is so true, especially.
And that just, it gets everyone being like that.
So tell everyone where they can find and follow your personal journey and check out the latest projects.
Okay, so in terms of my stuff, social media-wise, I'm at Tim Lounibos, my name, on Instagram and Twitter, and on Facebook at Asian American Actor.
Yeah, embrace it.
Great handle.
I was surprised it was still there. And then the NCIS is on February 12th. Hawaii 5.0, I think, is March 1st. And then Bosch should be dropping around April, May.
Wow.
Awesome.
Basically, he's everywhere.
Thank you.
You're getting some.
And one other thing I'd like to mention, if I can, is I do volunteer for a nonprofit. I noticed you guys talk about that stuff. AFS USA, look them up online. We started out hosting an exchange student, our daughter Lison from France, and now I am volunteer liaison for 2 kids, one from Spain, Uriel, and one from Gaza Strip, Hassan.
Oh.
And it's just, it's a organization that's in 40 countries, and they are promoting peace through, intercultural understanding.
Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
Thank you for
Stay
sharing
tuned.
that.
We'll be right back.